How's it everyone? Grant here. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through over 25 different settings and features for your brand new Galaxy S8 or Galaxy S8 Plus. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using the Galaxy S8 Plus because it's much easier to view, but everything is exactly the same on the Galaxy S8. So hopefully you can find some hidden features or settings that you maybe didn't know about, or just maybe make it easier as you set up your Galaxy S8 or S8 Plus for the first time. So with that, let's get on with the rest of the video. And so if we just take a look around, I really haven't toured this myself very much, so we're going to be touring this together. If we look at the pull down here, actually let's just go into the settings. Go to About. It's running Android 7.0 with a March 1st security patch. And if you notice, it says Samsung Experience. So they went from TouchWiz to Grace UX, and now it's branded as, their UI is branded as Samsung Experience. So we're at Samsung Experience 8.1. And if we do the notification shade pull down, you can see your quick toggles there. See if you can see anything different here this year. Performance mode was already there in Grace UX, but if you don't know, performance mode just helps you boost up into what they call high performance mode. So they'll crank up the screen resolution, increase the brightness, and you can customize what this means to you. So if you want extra performance boost, at the click of a button, you can access it there in the quick settings toggles. Secure Folder is now a quick toggle. I don't believe that was a quick toggle. That was a separate actual app. I don't think there's a quick setting for that, so I think that's new. What else do we see here? They've always had the always on display. Edge lighting is new, so let's see what that's about. Edge lighting, edge screen will light up to show notifications instead of showing them on the screen. So when you get a notification, it'll light up the edges of the screen, and you can choose to do this when the screen is on, off, or all the time. So they just try to demonstrate what that will look like when the screen is on or off. So that's what edge lighting is. And they also have phone visibility. That's new. So if you tap and hold, let's see what phone visibility is about. Allow other devices to find your phone and transfer files. Your phone will appear in the list of available devices when files are transferred via transfer files to devices. So that's another way to just connect nearby devices. That is different, and I'm pretty sure that's new to Samsung, at least in the quick toggles. I never saw that as an actual feature, so that's definitely new. And that's the thing about the S8. Samsung phones have always been feature packed, but the S8 and S8 Plus is going to be really feature packed. So I'm going to try to walk you through as much as I can, at least from what I find in this initial walkthrough. I've really not looked at the phones, again, like I said, so I'll discover this along with you. But let's take a look here at the three-dot menu, see what we can see here. So button grid. So just like Grace UX, you can increase the grid size here or reduce it if you want. Because these are big devices, why not go 5x3 so you can fit more toggles on one page. You have less to page around with. So that's a nice little feature there. If you go into settings, so settings very much still looks like how Grace UI did. Everything is very flat, a lot nicer and neater than it was within TouchWiz. And we already have a software update waiting for us. So this is the T-Mobile variant. And if we look at it here, software update out of the box from T-Mobile, it says it'll improve performance of facial recognition. User interface adjustments for camera and security of your device has been improved, so maybe a security patch update. Other people are saying this is also going to disable applications that allow you to remap this Bixby button on the left. So if you like the ability to remap your Bixby, you might not want to install this update, but it's inevitable, and Samsung will deliver the full Bixby at some point, so you may as well just go ahead and update. But just a little bit of warning there, I think that could disable that. So sounds and vibration, let's see if you have any new sound settings or sound adjustments, sound quality and effects. So Samsung's always had these sound quality adjustments for your audio listening. UHQ upscaler is very good, surround not so much. 2 amp Pro makes a difference, and of course your equalizer settings there. So these are actually really nice adjustments. They do make a difference when you're listening to your audio, especially through your headphones. Separate app sound, so this looks different. I don't recall seeing this type of feature before. Play media sound from one app on a speaker or headphone separate from a media sound from another app. So you can play sound from one app and broadcast it out to the speaker while you're still playing other media on your device. So this could be connected to Bluetooth 5.0 where you can actually broadcast it to separate headsets. I don't think so. It sounds like it's a little bit of a separate thing, but that is a nice little feature there. I'm pretty sure that's brand new here on the Galaxy S8. I don't recall seeing that. Let me know if I am wrong in the comments. Notifications pretty much seem standard here, although I'm pretty sure maybe Grace UX introduced this where you can actually disable notifications on all apps. Before it was app by app by app, so you had to do one by one. Now if you just want to disable all app notifications at once for a while, you can do that from here. So that comes in handy. Display, let's see if there's any new display settings. So there's your blue light filter. That's just your night mode, basically for ease of eye strain, reducing the eye strain late at night while staring at a bright screen. Screen mode, so you can have your different screen modes. They usually keep it on adaptive display. I've kept it on adaptive display on my other device, Samsung devices. But you can go to AMOLED Cinema, Photo, Basic, and you can kind of see the color temperature changing. These are a little bit warmer. I just keep it at adaptive display there, and it's shifted to really cool now. So I just keep that into adaptive display. Looks fine to me. You can also go into color balance and change your RGB settings if you want to manually. So that's there. That's really not new, but it's something you can do. Screen resolution. So here's something. Screen resolution, and they've been doing this since they rolled out that Grace UX. So even on the Samsung Galaxy S7s, when you installed the update, it reduced the resolution out of the box to Full HD 1080p, probably because they want to conserve battery. But you can go in here, and one of the first things you probably want to do if you want to get the most out of your device is to change that over to QHD. WQHD Plus, all that is 1440p, and in this case, because of the screen resolution, that is now 2960 by 1440. So I'll apply that because I want to get the most resolution and most performance out of this device. But if you're concerned about battery life, you can always keep it at Full HD 1080p. You also still have your screen zoom and font size adjustments. So because it is a big screen, this is a great thing. You can adjust the size of your icons. I keep it on small, and because of that, you can also adjust the size of your font. So as your icons get smaller, your font gets smaller, you can readjust it here. You can also change, like you always could, you can change your fonts here. But really the sizing is what's important with such a big display. You can size it to what your eyes like to see. Home screen, let's see if anything's changed on home screen here. So home screen layout, home screen and apps. Home screen and app screens are home screen only. This is kind of like you want an app drawer or not. So home screen only means no app drawer basically, and you got your basic iPhone type of a situation where you've got your apps scattered throughout all your home screens, or you can say home screen and apps, which is going to give you back that app drawer. And that app drawer is very much like a Pixel app drawer now, so it's a swipe gesture. You could even see that little bit of a motion there when I went back to the home screen. But it's a swipe up, or you can even swipe down. So swipe up or down will access your app drawer. So sort of Pixel-like. Pixel launcher, you swipe up only, but Samsung, now anywhere on the screen, swipe up or down will access your app drawer. So that's pretty cool. And now we have home screen grid. So what's the max grid size? It is 5x5, and by default it is on 5x5. So that is the max grid size on the stock launcher home screen. And app screen grid, you can go up to, so this is the launcher screen grid, you can go up to 5x6. So we'll set it there. And it reduces it a little bit, but you get more on the screen. Big screen, why not do that? Apps button, show a button on the home screen that opens the apps screen. So if you do want to see that traditional launcher button, you can, but they're trying to go in the way that Google wants Android to go, which is no button to access that launcher. So that's what's defaulted. If you really want it, you can add it back on the stock launcher. Hide apps. So if you want to hide any apps, this is how you can do it, just like before. Hello Bixby Settings. So this is control what Bixby will show you. So Bixby is Samsung's personal assistant. Out of the box, there is no voice component. That should be coming soon. But just like Google Now and the Google app, you can control the settings of what you want to display here. Full screen app. So because of this resolution, you can actually choose which apps you want to use in the full screen aspect ratio. So you can control that here and select the apps that you want there. I also suggest icon or frame. So if you're going to keep the stock launcher, Samsung always puts this squarish circle, the squircle around their background for their icons. If you don't like that, Samsung gives you the option, I'll turn that off. So I'd recommend turning that off because it just looks weird, at least to me. So if you don't like it, that's where you can turn it off. Edge screen. So edge screen functionality, let's see what we got here. Edge panels, if you want to turn on the edge panels, you can drag them there. So there's the edge panels, just like before. Looks to be the same. Apps, people, and smart select. And there's the Gif animation. So thank you, Lord. They have Gif animation built in onto this version of Samsung Experience. So just like the Note 7, how you can select it with the S Pen, that was cool. I think they built the Gif animation into the camera app in other versions of their software on the S7 updates and the A7 mid-range updates as well. So you got Gif animation there. That is cool. And it's exactly like the S Pen, except I guess you just use your finger. So it provides the exact same select window like you would have gotten with your S Pen Smart Select, and then highlight the area you want, select the quality in which you want to record it in, and hit record, and it'll create a GIF for you. So very cool. GIF functionality still here. Everybody just take a deep breath now. All right. Edge lighting. So edge lighting is what we saw before through the quick toggle, so it'll light up the edges of the screen when a notification comes in. So pretty typical Edge functionality, but they built in a few extra things. Always a nice thing. And if we now go into navigation bar, so here's where you can actually change the background color of your nav bar. By default, you can say it's white. You can change it to whatever color you have here, or you can pick a color. We'll just keep it as white. Unlock with home button. So hard press the home button while the screen is off to skip the lock screen and go directly to the home screen. I'm pretty sure this is only going to work if you don't have security set up, but we'll see. Hard press. No, you need the biometrics. So if you don't have security set up, if you have this on, you can actually just hard press that home button from a lock screen and it'll unlock the phone. But because I have security set up, that's not going to matter. Button layout's what's important here. So because Samsung has gone to on-screen buttons because of the big display, there are no physical buttons anymore. You can actually reorder the order of the buttons. So by default, Samsung has always had the recents menu and the back button reversed from stock Android. So if you're a longtime Samsung user, you're probably going to keep this how it is. You're probably used to this layout. But if you're used to stock Android, you can just swap them. So your back is where it normally is and your recents button is where you like to have it. So one advantage of on-screen buttons is the ability to customize and reverse. I'm very happy that Samsung is giving us that option here. You can also adjust the home button sensitivity, adjust the amount of pressure needed to hard press this button. So if you want it to be less sensitive or more sensitive to a hard pressed to register that touch, you can adjust it here. For me, this default setting is working just fine, so I think I'm just going to leave it there. Wallpapers and themes, so I'm assuming you're still going to have your same Samsung theme store here. So if you want to change out your themes and all that stuff, that's still there. So advanced features, let's take a look what they have. So they still have Smart Stay. So if you want to keep the screen on while you're looking at it, that's still there. One-handed mode is still there. Finger gestures, quick launch camera. Open camera twice by pressing the power key. Okay. So it used to be double press the home button because there is no home button. It is now double press the power key to launch the camera. So at least you still have a quick launch option there. Multi-window. Yeah, multi-window support. That's typically there. Use recents button, touch and hold recents button to open split screen. So that's a typical default Android behavior. So if you are used to tapping and holding the recents button to activate split screen, you're actually going to need to activate it here in the settings. It's not on by default. Pop-up view action. Yes, we like pop-up view. So if you want to be able to use apps in windowed mode, like you in a windowed mode, and drag them around the screen like you could in previous Samsung devices, again, you're going to have to actually physically go in here and turn it on in the multi-window settings. So it's not a default gestures there. Device maintenance. This is something introduced as a part of Grace UX as well. So it can help assess how your device is performing, and if it's not performing too well, you feel it's a little bit sluggish, it gets a low score, every once in a while just hit optimize now. It'll do its thing to clear out, unnecessary, unused, or unnecessarily used space, background tasks, etc. Help speed up your device. You can use that there, but this is how you would access your battery settings and your battery usage now. So if you want to see your screen on time and how your battery is performing over time, that's how you get to that now. That's always been there since Grace UX. But here's all your performance mode settings. You can look at your storage and your memory. So that is your device maintenance section. Lock screen and security. So here you've got different ways to set up your security. So you've got the fingerprint scanner like I showed you. You've got facial recognition and you've got iris scanner. So all those things I showed you. But the interesting thing here is you can only use the fingerprint scanner and one of two of the facial recognition features. So you can only use facial recognition or iris scanner. You can't use both. So you can have the fingerprint plus facial recognition or fingerprint plus iris scanner, but you cannot have all three, and you cannot combine face recognition with iris scanner. So you're gonna have to pick which one you want. Again, like I showed you, they're both pretty fast. Iris scanner just requires that extra step, and facial recognition is blazingly fast. But keep in mind, facial recognition is quote unquote less secure. So it's really up to you what you want to pick out of the three there. I would recommend keeping the fingerprint and one of the two. There's always on display, so that is still there. And your always on display will still show all your notifications. So not just Samsung default apps, but all apps notifications will show up here. So that's still a feature of always on display. Information and face widget. So what do you want to, basically what do you want to show on the always on display? So face widgets here. So on your always on display, you can show a music controller that's on by default. You can also add a schedule, today's schedule, and an alarm. So if you now double tap on the widget, you can cycle through. So this would be the music player. If I was playing music, it would show up here. And I can cycle through my calendar events and my alarm because those are things that I selected. So that is now available from your always on display if you want to do that. I'll probably just keep the clock. Contact information. So basically if you want to show like a, let's just, for the sake of it, if you just want to show a signature or any kind of text on your always on display, you can do that. So now it'll show up right there below the date and above the percentage, so you can see that there. Always on display settings, so we can take a look at that. It's pretty much the same, I'm pretty sure, except this I think is new. Content to show. Yeah, this is new. So home button and clock or information. So when you locked it, you get your always on display. You can see it's got your always on display, all your information, plus that home button is glowing so that you know it's there. I'm assuming they did this because they changed and removed the home button, so they want to get people used to the position of it. But if you get used to the position and you don't want to light up unnecessary pixels, then I'm going to suggest that you turn that off and just use clock or information only. So now when I lock the screen, the home button is not there on my always on display. So I'd recommend doing that. So that's about it. So I know that was a lot, but that's pretty much all the features, and I try to point out as much as I can that I found that was new. So hopefully you got some setup tips out of that, especially since it's, like I said, this is jam-packed full of features, so many things to explore and set up. So hopefully that walkthrough gave you a bit of an idea of what you might want to do to set up your own device with a lot of the existing features and a lot, specifically the new features that the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus have here. Now let's actually take a look at the camera. So the camera app, and let's bring in our trusty Android guy here. But the camera app, I think, has been updated a little bit. So they've always had this gesture-based UI since Grace UX. So if I swipe in from the left, I'll get through all my camera modes there. I think you have all the typical modes: selective focus, hyperlapse, slow motion. Food mode, I think, is new. I don't see a broadcast to YouTube. So I think they may have gotten rid of the YouTube Live broadcasting here because I don't see it. It used to be a camera mode. So unless I'm missing that, it's not here. So they may have gotten rid of live YouTube broadcasting straight from the camera app, which sucks because it's actually pretty good. So for a lot of YouTubers out there, I know they found that better than the actual YouTube Live app. Swipe in from the right and you get to all your filters. This is something new here too, is they've got these stickers. And there it is. So you can change your stickers, you can go through, and there's a ton of them, I think. Oh yeah, there's a ton. You wanna all kinds of different looks here. So stickers are there. If you like this whole Snapchat thing, not going to work with Snapchat, I don't think, but if you want to take these and post them out to Instagram, you can always do that. So I'm going to get out of this. And so that's kind of gesture-based UI that's always been there from Grace UX. They do have this thing called the Bixby button. So if you hit that, it'll actually scan QR codes, but if you point at something, it's kind of like Amazon's Firefly feature. So if you remember Amazon's Fire Phone, they built it into the camera app where if you pointed the camera at an object, it will try to figure it out and show you where you can buy it on Amazon. Similar kind of feature that Samsung built into Bixby here. So let's see if we can point it at my Android guy here and see if it figures it out. So where can I buy this Android guy? Let's see if it comes up with anything. No matching products for shopping. But let's see, it didn't really select the whole thing, if you notice. So let's just select the whole thing. Try again. Still nothing. If we go image, it will bring up images of Android guys, so that kind of works. And interesting enough, that image search is powered by Pinterest. So they're partnering there with other companies to bring you some of these results. Keep that in mind, because when it's sponsored content like that, it's always something to keep in mind. So that's the whole new Bixby thing built into the camera app. And just for fun, we can always go and try to do a quick photo here. So of course, blazing fast shutter speeds, and it looks really crisp, really sharp. You can even see a lot of that detail if you zoom in there. So, but this is pretty decent light. Of course, I'm going to do my usual camera samples tests. I'll post my camera videos. Let me know in the comments what you want to see this, what cameras you want to see this compared against. Do you want to see it against the iPhone, S7 Edge? Which camera phones do you want to see the S8 compared to? So let's go into the settings menu and see if we can spot anything new in the settings. So picture size, 12 megapixels, 4:3 aspect ratio. But yeah, you can choose your aspect ratios as well as resolution, quality. Video size does not seem to be selectable, which is interesting. I don't know if it's actually tied to the picture size. Yeah, it seems to be tied to the picture size for whatever reason. I'm not sure what that's about, so I'll have to explore that a little bit more. But here you go in your front camera, up to 4:3, 8 megapixels in the front. You can separately adjust the video quality here for the front-facing camera, so that's a little bit odd. I'm going to have to look a little bit more into that. On the rear-facing camera, ways to take pictures, palm, tap the screens, all that's the same. Voice control is still there. All these camera settings are still pretty much the same. Floating camera button to add a camera button here on the screen to tap to take a picture, so it's a little bit more convenient maybe for you than reaching down here or using the other gestures. But really quickly, that's the camera interface and some of the options there, especially with the Bixby. So there you go, over 25 different settings and features for your Galaxy S8 or Galaxy S8 Plus. I really hope this video was helpful for you and that you were at least able to take away from parts of this video either some new settings or features maybe you didn't know about, and or at least helped ease you through the setup process on your brand new Galaxy S8 or S8 Plus. So with that, if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. Enjoy your brand new Galaxy S8 or S8 Plus, and as always, thanks for watching.